Project 571, genetically engineered vampire created to destroy evil.
What do you want?
We need your help to kill a vampire.
Malleus Maleficario. It was written by a witch. The first witch. Titania.
That was a little snippet from The Witch's Hammer, the first film I ever solo directed, and it's just been remastered and re-released on Amazon. So if you like witches and vampires, then please do check it out. Anyway, let's get on with this week's episode.
Filmmaking, if I take that money, now it's a year, 2 years of my life saying, don't mess this up, because that actor I paid X amount of dollars is counting on me not to mess this up. So yeah, I would take the acting gig in a heartbeat.
Hi, Jim here, and you're listening to the Honest Filmmaker podcast. This week, I'm speaking to filmmaker Alex Alessi. How you doing, Alex?
I'm doing great. How you doing today, Jim?
Very well, thank you. Very well, thank you. So I could see next to you, you've got your poster of your film, Homebody. But before we start talking about that film, tell me a little bit about you as a filmmaker. So where'd you come from? How have you ended up making a feature film?
Sure. Well, I'm a New Jersey boy. So naturally, you know, we come from the state where Kevin Smith exists. So we're just like do-it-yourself kind of people, I guess, because I am. But yeah, I mean, I started out, I went to college, community college, going for graphic design. And I was always into film and acting and all that stuff, but I never thought it was a career path. So I met people, went to an acting class, and from there, I just like fell in love with that process. And through there, you kind of meet a student filmmaker. They put you in your film, you know, or their film, and you're doing all that stuff. You're having a great time making, you know, how student films can be, especially starting out, like the stupidest stuff. We did a thing where it was a guy fighting over, like he bought milk from a store. It got spilled, and it was a revenge quest.
Nice.
To get the guy that spilled his milk back. Whatever. You're in college. You're having fun. You're doing all that. So we did all those things, and I'm pursuing acting. And then I just started editing my own stuff. That's where it started. I was always kind of a writer as well, because you do that, but I never thought it was good enough. You know, you're always doing things until you eventually come up with an idea and you say, you know what, no one's doing it for me. I'm going to do it myself. And so that's kind of how I got where I am. I was pursuing acting, and then you don't find those roles, you don't find it, so you just create your own path. So I did that, and luckily I found a community of people as I was going through acting that I was able to start the process of becoming a filmmaker. So that's kind of how I got my start. And then, yeah, after years of that, I came across an idea for a feature that I could do for myself, 2 ideas actually. And I got fortunate enough to meet people. And the more work you do, I find, if you're good to work with, the more you build that community and the easier it gets to create an idea, especially when there's no budget around. So yeah, that's kind of my journey, how I got here and how I met all the great people I get to work with it, make it possible for me to do what I do.
Sure, great. So would you say, so you've done some acting and you're in the film. What are you at heart? Are you an actor or are you a filmmaker? Where's the line?
It's tough. It's kind of grayscale, right? Like there's a line somewhere, but it kind of falls off. In the movie Looper, I don't think it made the cut, but they were describing time travel, right? With salt on a table, where it just kind of scatters out and you got little grains everywhere. So there's grains of me that are full on acting and grains of me that are full on filmmaking, but it's all one the same. It's the same creation. So like for me, especially as a filmmaker, the process starts creating as a writer. You'll start there. You start writing, you come up with all those ideas. And of course, I'm someone that loves to run it by the people I work with, because I'm only as good as the people I'm working with. So notes are so valuable to me, and which kind of leads into the directing and the acting side of it. I may be directing, which I say 90% of directing is in the prep. So when I'm on the day, I'm able to act, but I'm also trusting the people around me to tell me when something's not working. So for me, it's all one the same when I make my own movies. It's all kind of there. And I think, yeah, at the heart, in my heart, I'm a creator. I'm someone that wants to just be creative. I'm an artist. I want to tell a story by whatever means it is. So it's such a tight process and it's all together for me. But yeah, it's hard to say which one I fall in. That
So
being said, if anyone wants me to act, I'm in your project.
yeah, I was
Go
going
ahead,
to
give me a
say.
call.
So
I'm there.
so then let's. All right. So I get that completely because it's the same sort of distinction I'd have between being a writer, director, and a producer. Is kind of you're all three at the same time. But how's this for a thought experiment? I'm going to say to you right now, I'll pay you X amount of dollars to star in a feature film, or you can have X amount of dollars to make a feature film, but you can't be in it. What are you going to choose?
If it's coming down to the X amount of dollars, I'll star in it. Because here's the thing, as an actor, so I'm making the X amount of dollars. I have to come there for whatever amount of time it is to film that role. That's it. I get to walk away. There's no more pressure. You did your job, and if you did what the director wanted, hopefully that means that's going to be a great project. Filmmaking, if I take that money, now it's a year, 2 years of my life saying, don't mess this up, because
Mhm.
that actor I paid X amount of dollars is counting on me not to mess this up. So, yeah, I would take the acting gig in a heartbeat. But that being said, if I get paid the right X amount of dollars, some of that money is going towards me telling that next feature because I want to tell that story.
Yeah, good answer. Good answer.
Thanks.
Okay, so we're on to Homebody. Tell me, first of all, set it up for me. What's the story?
So, Homebody is a millennial coming of age story. It's a road trip film. It's about this guy named Lee. He works from home, works remotely, as so many of us do nowadays. And because the economy is what the economy is, the world is what it is, he lives with his parents still. And his parents need to sell the house. It's time. It's time for them to move on. So he embarks on a road trip across the country for a job interview in New York. I'm not sure how familiar everyone is, but yeah, LA or San Francisco area where we're starting the film, and New York, completely opposite sides. So he goes across the country. And along the way, he kind of learns a little bit more about himself. He learns to grow from his mistakes. And yeah, hopefully he just becomes a better person. So that's really what it's about. It's about growing up even though you're 30,
Yeah.
essentially.
Cool. So coming of age slash road movie. So let's get the details. So how did you raise the money to make it, and what was your budget?
So raising the money, it was twofold to the process. We're trying to get investors. We're trying to do what everyone's always trying to do. You're trying to go and talk to whoever you can that has money. And a lot of these guys, they want you to spend $250 or $250,000. That'd be great, 250. And it's really tough. It's really tough to find, especially if you're not working with action or horror, something that they know, like someone's going to come across this and watch it and we'll make our money back. So that didn't work out. So we did Indiegogo, raised some money, not nearly enough. We were just asking for a small bit. So essentially, how I got this one done is I self-financed it. I have a 9 to 5 editing, doing commercials, as a lot of us do, and I just saved up as much as I could. And for the actors that we brought on board, that was like paid immediately. And like I said earlier, you meet people and you build up trust. They know you can make a movie. They know you're going to follow through. So I had deferred pay set up with everyone. I think our makeup artist, he was amazing. This guy, Michael Connor, really awesome dude to work with. I think I'm still finishing paying up because he was like, don't worry about it. I'm good. So if you need time, don't worry about it, which I'm so grateful for. So by having that, by being reliable and knowing that I could pay people over time, it helped me get the movie made. And I think, I want to say it's like turned out to be like 50K at the end of the day, $50,000 movie, which when you have the right people on board, that can look so much more on screen. Yeah. Plus, you got to get a little inventive if you're going to do a road trip movie, right? For $50,000. So yeah, that was kind of process. Like I said, do it yourself. I wasn't going to get anyone to raise money. We were trying. I think the whole reason this movie came up is we were thinking of movies, like action movies, horror movies. We had ideas. We have scripts. We still have them. They're still good. But like trying to find that money was tough. And we were sitting down just enjoying some Mexican food in North Jersey. And I was like, well, what if we did this? I have a Mini. What if we just take the Mini and we go on a road trip? And isn't that kind of silly seeing a little blue Mini driving across the country and trying to do stuff? So it all kind of came from that, which is great too. But yeah, it's all self-financed, asking people just, hey, if you're a little patient, I promise you'll get money. Yeah. And I know for some people you got to sign down the dotted line, get a net 60 or whatever. But yeah, I was really thankful for the people I brought on board. And without them, there's no way I'm making this movie that way. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's funny. I mean, I'd be interested to know how long did you wait before you were like, right, I'm going to finance this myself? Because I know a lot of filmmakers, it can be agonizing when you've got a project you really want to make and you really want to make it properly, so spend the amount of money that it deserves on it. But at some point, we all face that moment where we're like, I've spent a year, I've spent 2 years trying to raise money for it. Was it quick for you, or was it a while before you just came up with that?
this one was somewhat quick.
Mm,
Because fortunately, I made a feature. Now it's been 10 years ago since we started rolling, almost to the day of the first frames of it, and it was set up where I didn't really know anyone yet. Literally, there was another person that was supposed to direct this movie, and he brought on my co-director on Homebody, Jamal Green, was just coming on as a sound guy. It was him and this other great guy who has a podcast. Shout out to Jeff Stewart, that's Film Blurred, which is an amazing podcast. You got to check it out. But he came on as assistant director. These guys walk onto my set, which was like my front yard for the day, and the director wasn't coming. He decided the first day of a feature film, and I asked him, hey, can you direct this for me? I wrote it. I don't know if I should direct. I'm not coming. My assistant director's going to direct it. Yeah. So we're doing this whole thing, and we're supposed to go overnight to a cabin like 3 hours away to shoot. And these guys pull me aside, Jamal and Jeff, and they're like, hey. I'm like, oh no, this is awful. These guys, and they're here for like $200 a day. They were here for nothing. And like, no, the shoot's great. We can't stay overnight. And I had to reschedule the whole thing to work for 2 days instead of three. And we shot through the night. So all of that being said, I met them. My DP, Will Kaufman, his co-DP, Mike Fernazza, all met on this other film. And we all built this trust, starting on that first day and going through the 20 days of that film, knowing, hey, we all work together well. We all do this. And they were all on for money for that one. They were there, not a lot, the opportunity, but they still were like, you got to pay us up front. We're here. And we made it through that whole movie. And that movie ended up being deferred for them because the money wasn't coming in as well. So I already knew, at the very least, I got these guys. I don't know what else we've got, but we've got them. We can shoot this movie, and they're going to be cool with me paying. And I knew I had the salary and the circumstances I could pay them.
mm,
So it was really kind of like well, we want money. We want to do it for more. We knew, like, already we were bringing Richard Kind in, and that was going to cost us something. But we're like, but if we have more money, we can get more names. We can get more people involved to surround Richard and myself, and that will just lift the film up. I had a producer on the project ask me if I can get a name actor in there. Would I step aside as the lead? I said, absolutely. Like, not anything against me, but the reason I'm in the lead of the movie is because that made scheduling easier.
yeah.
Then you can go ahead and say, all right, it all revolves around you. Because there's two ways I feel like you can do a movie like this. I've learned now. Most people like do one location. It's easy. You do one location film, then you're there. You know you're in that spot. It makes it easy to film. The other is one person. Because then you could say, all right, I can get this person for 2 days. It's not going to cost that much. So we shoot all their stuff in 2 days. Like, so Richard Kind, we shot in 2 days. And he's in the entire movie. He shows up, I mean, a lot of it's cell phone calls because of the road trip, things like that. But he is there from the beginning and shows up towards the end. And we shot it all in 2 days. And that all comes down to, I wasn't costing us anything to be in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was always kind of there in the back of my head from the first meeting talking about this. What can we do? Can we do this for nothing? Which literally, it's funny. We ended up just shooting another film in March, and that's what we did. We did it for nothing. Everyone was on like a profit share this time, to where like I'm paying up front, but no one's getting paid anything. But the moment we see money from this, it's just going all around. And I think that's kind of a wave of a new form of indie filmmaking we're seeing. A lot of people saying, I don't need to do this for all this money if everyone's on board, or I can do a little bit cheaper. I know that just came out with Obsession, right? They were talking about it. And that wasn't really the argument that the production designer that was making, but it opened up that discussion of like, when you do a film, whether it's $750K or $50K, if you can get your crew on board and say, hey, if you do it for this little bit less, when we do hit that jackpot, we hit this certain number, you will go ahead and you'll see more. And I think that's really a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And I guess doing it that way does encourage those people to promote the film, talk about it, because obviously they've got a vested interest in getting some money back from it. What about, you mentioned Richard Kind. So how do you get him, and what are your tips for other filmmakers to try and get a name in your film?
Well, I guess first, the most important thing for other filmmakers is you got to treat it as professionally as possible. You have to know the avenues. You have to understand what you're doing when you reach out to these people because they want to work. They want to act. Like that is one of the biggest things I learned from working with him, especially. And before that, I worked with this guy Gabriel Rush, who was in like Moonrise Kingdom and Grand Budapest Hotel. He was the other bellboy in that. And he's been tons of stuff. He's in so much. I'm trying to think Scariest Stories You Tell in the Dark. He ended up being in after we worked with him. But he came in, he was like 19 when we worked with him. And it was him and his mom. And they're like, this is what we do. We sleep on mattresses and we just do whatever it takes to get it done because we love to do it. So I think the most important thing is to realize, hey, they want to do something good. So if you have something good, they're not afraid of it. But two, you have to understand the channels. So how I got there is I have an IMDb Pro account, which opens up addresses to all these representatives and so you have agents, managers, whoever. And if they have an email that's like, I guess we'll say like dan@caa.com somehow, you'll never see CAA. Usually you don't see them. But if you do, you see a big agency and they have their name in that, craft an email. Be smart about it. You just gotta say, hey, I'm filmmaker X. I have this project. Quick summary of what it is. We really think Richard Kind would be amazing for this part. And if you have like a monetary number, like if you have that in mind, put that out there. And then this way they understand you're serious. If you say, I could pay you the low budget rate for SAG, then they will go ahead and say, okay, well, we know that they're willing to pay us this amount of money. And here's what the story's about. And if you know how many days, I knew it's like, we'll need him for 2 days max. So, he knew he wasn't going in for a month of like having to go on this small production. He gets there that first day. If it was a disaster, oh, God, I come back 19 more days to do this. This isn't good. So it's really just about like being smart about how you're doing it and knowing what you have.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, pure professionalism. You send it out there and you accept what you get. You get yes, you get no. That's it. I mean, you can respond back with thank you for your time, whatever. I know there was one actor for a previous film I tried to reach out doing this. And their agent was like, yeah, he's taking a break. And even if he wasn't, he wouldn't do this. And it was just very harsh. Most of them are full truth. They are all so nice. And like, Richard's people were the best. I probably emailed them 100 times back and forth. And this is after, of course, they said he's interested. But he worked with these people more than he worked with Richard on something like this, and they've been incredible. We won an award at a Garden State Film Festival in New Jersey, and I just got sent over to them, and they're like, yeah, just send it out to us here in LA. So I'm still working on that. I got to get it to them. But they're just the best people in the world as long as you know how to talk to them, and you're professional. And yeah, you have to know what you have to offer. Because if you come in there and say, well, we can give them pizza, there's no way. I highly doubt, unless you have like the next Citizen Kane or something on your hands and they read that, so this is magic. Then at that point, I feel like they'll probably want to produce it. So yeah, that's how you do it. You just got to find those contacts.
Yeah. It's great advice. I've done the same thing myself, similar thing before. And yeah, writing that professional email and making it as clear as quickly as possible what you're asking for, because they will, if it is confusing at all or you're not really giving them the full story, they just won't even bother replying to it. Whereas if you give them everything on that email as quickly and as succinctly and professionally as you can, you've got more chance. And like you say as well, if you can offer a fee, an amount, kind of give them all the details, even better. Out of interest, is he with like a bigger agency, or is he with a smaller boutique agency? What's the kind of, where is he in the?
I'm trying to think. I think it was his management that I got to reach out to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I want to say somewhere in between. He's not like in a small boutique, but he's somewhere in between because like he does so much. He's in so many things and he's all over. I mean, he's best buds with George Clooney, so he's doing pretty good. And he was just over there. He was just on West End doing producers.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So
No, he's a good one for you because he would appear in an equivalent version of your movie with a lot more money in that same role. So it's not like you've got him in to for one scene as the mayor. You've kind of got him in as playing the sort of part he would play in a feature film with George Clooney in it. So that's
exactly.
perfect. And that's an interesting point about management. And I'd probably echo that. I'd say if I was thinking about it, I maybe wouldn't approach the agent first. I'd probably try and find a kind of side way in because the agents get so many requests that they
Oh
usually,
yeah.
if it's a big agency anyway, they won't even look at it. Whereas if you can get past that and get through to the person, you have a lot more luck.
Yeah, and just to echo that, most of those big agencies, you're not going to find those emails.
Yeah.
Most of them are not there unless it's like a junior agent that's just trying. They're like, I'm going to
Mm,
find my way in. It's all info at CAA or
yeah.
WMA. Like they don't want you emailing them.
No.
Don't try that. Don't, if it says info, do not send that email.
Yeah. Not worth
Which
it.
is
Not
how I got on
worth
this
it.
podcast though. So that's a little. I sent it to an info email. Just saying.
Well, you felt, yeah, yeah, you did. You did
I
contact
did.
me
I
for an
took that
info,
shot.
but that's because I check my emails. But so
Appreciate it.
so you've shot the film, managed to get Richard Kind in it. Um, I've seen that you've had some success at festivals. So talk to me about festivals. Did you have a strategy? Did you know which ones you wanted to enter? How did you approach that?
Yeah, so for this one, I we did have a bit more of a strategy. In the past, I've done it, and you're kind of just like darts. Let's see what happens. That never it works in a sense. I know I met people on the circuit. They're like, just go for as many as possible. It's a numbers game. It's like that's not true. So the strategy for this one is we started off trying to swing for the fences, and we just took a shot at. We went for like Sundance and Slam Dance. We said let's just submit to those two and Garden State Film Festival.
Hmm.
Because we're like, if we get into those two, it's cool then that we're at Garden State. But then we also don't need to be in any more festivals. Like once you get that one, you get those huge ones, you do not need to be in any of the regional ones. You don't have to tour around and try for stuff that's a little bit mid range. So the moment we missed that, we knew we weren't getting in because we went nice and early for that. That's what we did. We said, all right, what are really good festivals? So I actually searched for like Oscar qualifying to start with, and then also recommendations of people who did the festival, the Julian Dubuque International Film Festival, which is really lovely. It's in Iowa. It's this small town. It's right by Illinois and Iowa, so it's not too far from Chicago. Really amazing festival. The best people ever. Some really engaging, beautiful films. I've met people from England over there that were really marvelous and awesome. Their names are escaping right now. I put you towards those films because they are really great. But I had a friend who's in the film, Danny Donnelly, that he was in that festival. He's like, it's awesome. Do it. And you get to screen a movie twice. You're in an actual movie theater. Incredible. So yeah, it kind of starts there. You have to feel it out and see at those levels what's working. And then even once you hit there, and this is what we're learning now, you get a couple, be prepared to miss a lot
Hmm.
because all these festivals get so many submissions. Have to figure out how to program it. I had a buddy has a festival, and it was a little late to be fair. And he's like, submit. We're still looking, sure. And I think they just didn't take any features this year.
Hmm.
So the line, like sometimes it's not about the quality; it's about just programming the festival. So yeah, it was a lot of that stuff. I look for things that are running for a while. My friend's film festival is an exception. It's running for like 2 years, something like that. But I was like, you know what? Why not? It's global. Let's do it. But yeah, it's kind of like if it's running for like 10 years plus, it's doing something. It's around
Yeah.
there. If you know that it's Oscar qualifying, that's a good touch. And then yeah, the only other thing I'd say, like a film like this, it's tough to navigate festivals based on genre. But I know a lot of people that were in the horror space, stuff like that, like so many horror festivals and things like that.
Hmm.
That's where you find those midnight screenings, whatever. So yeah, I mean that was kind of the plans. We had a level we wanted to hit. Garden State Film Festival is a huge festival in New Jersey. JDIF is huge in Iowa, but they're not quite up there with the Toronto International Film Festival or Tribeca, something like that. So we went for that tier below that. I would recommend filmmakers avoid the ones where it's like, oh, you submit and it's a little bit cheaper and we have a million different categories. And then you get that Laura. It looks nice. A Laura looks great.
Hmm.
That's awesome. Cool. I know a lot of people do that for shorts and nothing against them doing it. It just feels like what am I doing? What is the point of that $20 or whatever I'm spending if I'm just getting a little thing for a film festival people have never heard of, just so it looks cool on the poster?
Mm.
Like, oh, we have 100 laurels. Where to catch you? So I think that's the most important thing at the end of the day is when you're doing it, there needs to be a purpose.
Yeah.
Is the laurel the purpose, or is people seeing your movie the purpose?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say with the shorts, if you can find a festival, again, it's that minefield of trying to find, like you say, all those things you've identified. Is it legit? Are they actually going to watch my film? Do they have screenings? Is it one of these ones where they screen every single month? Because there is value in going with a short film to a film festival just to be able to watch it in front of a crowd because you never really get that feedback.
Right.
So you've done the festivals. Where are you with sales and distribution? What's the score? Is the film what's the score with the film there?
We're talking. We're talking to at least one distributor. Obviously, won't say who yet because nothing's signed. But and this is a first for me because my last film, and I won't lie, I mean it didn't work out the way I wanted to. Distribution, just like so many, you get that reach, and it just doesn't take off. You know, you're missing something, and it's something I've learned for this. But this case, we were scouted.
Oh, right.
So
okay.
at first at Garden State, I actually responded to the email, and I did it wrong. So another lesson to learn: if you do get an email from a distributor, make sure you're reading exactly what they're saying to do when you respond, because they get so many unsolicited things when they're a big enough distributor that they will just pass it over to you if you're responding. So you got to make sure you're saying submission or requested, whatever. So then they saw us from an intern had seen us at JDIF. And I said, following up, because we heard you were there too. And I did it right this time. So we've been sitting there talking, and honestly, we're close, I think. It's a conversation between me and my team now, deciding it's the right fit. Because like I said, we had before. And it felt like the right move at the time. And they're amazing people we got to work with on one of my last films. But at the end of the day, it's great that we had the ocean, but we didn't have the net to cast out there and scoop in the audience because we didn't have marketing. We had nothing going to help and push the movie out there. And it wasn't something they offered. So I think that's an important thing for people to think about distribution is, and this was great actually from the call I had with the distributor we're talking with. I said, okay, I understand you don't have huge money for marketing. What's nice about what they're telling me is there is a number in mind that they'll spend on our film. Once they hit that exact number, that's when we see money, which some distributors, that's a phantom number. They don't tell you what it is. So you're stuck saying, do we make enough yet? Okay, where's the money? No? Okay. So what's nice is I said, hey, I get it. We got to do some do-it-yourself marketing. We got think outside the box, use social media, TikTok, whatever we have to do this. I need you to amplify it. So that's the right word. That's what we'll do for you.
Yeah.
We'll amplify it. So that's what's exciting about this possibility for me talking to these guys is feels like they believe in it because someone saw it. They saw the movie. They feel like it connected with them. And they're being honest. They're being straight up. Like, we don't have a marketing department. If you want to be in theaters, it's going to cost you money because they can do that, but they can't do it by themselves. So that's their size. But they believe in it. And if you can find the right way to market it, they'll amplify it. And hopefully it makes more people see the film. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at, which is amazing. I'm excited. I'm hoping it's the right deal because I'm really excited for more people to get to see this. And they said we could finish our festival run. They're not like, you got to pull anything. Which I love because I want more people to see it in a movie theater if possible. So it's pretty cool.
Wicked. Well, we'll keep an eye on that, and I'll chat to you after it's come out, and we can sort of go over how it went for you and if you got what you wanted out of that deal.
Definitely.
One last thing I was going to talk about was a lot of filmmakers kind of they don't make the same movie over and over again, but they've got sort of a theme, a personal theme that's sort of embedded in everything they make. Have you got one? Is there something that you keep coming back to and keep writing about?
It's interesting because I feel like there's a little piece of you in everything you're writing. And for me, especially like dealing with something like this, there's always like what ifs and things like that come to the writing. I made a feature called Nomad 10 years ago, and that was just like, hey, you guys want to make a movie in 10 days? We can do it at my parents' house. No big deal. We'll just, overnights do whatever. And that was another almost like, well, what if this guy ended up being homeless because his parents didn't believe him and said, you're out of the house. So there's a similar idea to that as Homebody, except for Homebody is more of a realistic, you're doing what you can. You did everything everyone asked of you, and still you don't have enough to make those ends meet yourself and your parents, unfortunately, also they need to move on with their lives. And there's something someone brought, which is a big difference between those two things, is Homebody, the parents are extremely supportive.
So you've made this film. What if you could go back in time and give yourself a piece of advice that you didn't know when you started? What would it be?
Oh, this is the question you're always dreading, trying to figure out what would you do differently, because you got here somehow. But yeah, I mean, a piece of advice I would give myself, I guess, starting out way back then, is just hang with it. You know, if you love it, you just keep doing it, and the more you do it, the better you'll get at it.